Hi guys, how are we today? So it's Matt again here for you. Just going to speak about ways now guys for our crossing techniques. Okay, for our crossing techniques, we've got various ways. We've got our curled, we've got our whipped, we've got our floated, and we've got our driven. Okay, our curled and our whipped, looking to use the inside part of our foot, get the ball around for our teammates, then go and attack. Our driven and our floated, looking for our laces again to be able to get our teammates in best positions to go and score. Again, this may be for our wingers, maybe for our fullbacks, but again, it's very important that every single player on our team knows how to cross the ball and knows different ways to be able to do it to allow ourselves to use the best technique for the best scenario in the game. Okay, it might be a case that our players making a run from deep, need the ball to be left in for them, okay? Maybe a little floated ball, maybe a little bit of a whip ball, maybe a curl ball, okay? Maybe a case they're being marked, the back post needs to be lofted in, needs to be floated, needs to be driven to really get to them and allow them to head the ball. Just try and think of ways to be able to use these techniques we're going to work on now to allow you guys, when you play your games again, when you do your training sessions, where you can then make the best decision for the best scenario with your crosses. So, our first one here we're going to speak about is going to be our curled crossing technique. Okay, so with our curled technique, again, a very, very good player to look at for this, or kind of the master of it of all time, would be someone like David Beckham. Okay, Andre Pirlo, again, very, very close, Italian footballer, Italian soccer player. But David Beckham was a fantastic crosser of the ball, arguably the greatest of all time, and he was very, very good at just lifting the ball at different times, different scenarios, with every kind of technique available to allow his teammates to be able to go in and score or try to put them in goal scoring scenarios. So again, our curl technique, okay, so again, our target over here is our wall. Again, you haven't got to have big spaces, guys, to be able to do this. It's just about our basic technique at first to be able to get used to it and to be able to do it. Once we can have bigger distances, as we kind of go back outside, we can then really look to work on bigger distances and areas from there. So, we're looking now, inside part of my foot. Again, notice again how the ball is here. My body shape now, okay, unlike my striking technique where I come out to the side of it, okay, I'm now trying to stand more directly behind the ball. The reason being because I'm trying to come onto it and I'm trying to use that curl to get around it with the inside part of my foot to get to go around for my teammate and bend around defenders in between the goalkeeper and defenders, what's called the corridor of uncertainty between the goalkeeper and defenders. We're trying to get into that space to allow our teammates to then run forward and to go and score. So, can I show you some demonstrations here? We come back, all right, we're looking just to curl it around in case we step onto the ball, look at our body shape. Notice there how I'm using the inside part of my foot and the ball is spinning from left to right, okay? Before we spoke about getting our backward revolution, when we're trying to go forwards, when we're trying to actually curl the ball and get it to fade from left to right or right to left, we're trying to make sure that the spin we're putting on it is accurate for the direction, okay? So, next one now, we're gonna look at more of a whip technique. So our curl and our whip are very similar, but on our curl, it's a less power technique, a less power strike. With our whip, it's more power. We're trying to get that curl into that zone fast to allow our teammates to then go and score. Hence why it's called a whip. We're trying to really whip that curl and get it through quickly. So again, same thing again, looking to get our ball out of our feet, trying to stand behind the ball, okay, give ourselves space to deliver it. Our foot will then come around. Our whole body shape, our whole motion is designed to get the best technique on the ball for that whip technique. Okay, so you're back again, you're watching. Very, very similar to our curling, but now it's a little bit more power on the ball to allow that whip. I come back again, I'm stepping up, okay, I'm looking, and I'm just now trying to whip it through. Okay, notice again there, very, very similar. It curls around, but now there's more power on the ball to really allow that whip to go through. Okay, next one now, we're gonna look at our floating technique. Okay, so our floating technique might be a case where it's the last minute. We're just trying to lift the ball in the air to allow our bigger players or our bigger strikers to really get up and head the ball above opponents. Okay, we're looking to really capitalise on the height. We're looking to try and give our teammates the best possible way to go and score in tight, crowded scenarios. Okay, so you watch them. Our floated cross, okay, our lofted cross, whatever you want to call it. We're just trying to get our foot underneath the ball and just lift it up in the air for our teammates to go and score. Okay, so I'll show you now. Again, our gait, our posture. We're not directly behind the ball now, a little bit more to the side again. Again, to allow ourselves to really get behind it and strike with our technique to lift the ball nice and high. Again, our technique, we're leaning back a little bit to allow it to go up. It's just a little loft, a little float where it goes up in the air nice and high for our teammates to go and score. So I'll show you now. Not as much power again. We step onto it again, and we're just trying to lift the ball up for our teammates to then go and score and go and attack the ball. Last one now, okay, is going to be our driven cross, okay? So our driven run, again, very, very similar to our floated one, much like a pass, okay, like we spoke about before in previous tutorials. But again, now with our driven cross, it's more power on that loft, okay? Rather than it looping up, we want it to drive straight through to allow our teammates to really go and attack it, to really go and score, okay? So again, very, very similar technique. Again, you can watch other footballers, other soccer players like David Beckham. There's a fantastic clip from around the 2000 period where David Beckham and Paul Scholes were playing for Manchester United against Bradford City. Okay, this is the first time where this kind of technique had been seen, where David Beckham was taking a corner, Paul Scholes was lurking on the edge of the box, Beckham pinged the ball out to him, drove the cross out to him, Paul Scholes stepped on and he volleyed it in the bottom corner, and that's where we saw that corner routine developed and coined first of all. So again, if you want to YouTube that, David Beckham, Paul Scholes, Manchester United versus Bradford City, you can look at this kind of technique even more, even better. So again, we're here. Loft technique was a little bit more up in the air, a little bit more floaty. This one now, again, is still behind the ball, more of a diagonal kind of stance rather than right behind it. Again, designed to let our foot get the best connection that we can, and we're now trying to get a bit more power to allow that driven pass to really go up and through for our teammates. Okay, so show you again now, we're here, we're behind it, I'm just coming through, I'm just driving the ball straight through, okay? I'm behind the ball, again, the backwards revolution is what I'm looking for. It's a slightly different technique to our driven pass. Our driven pass, we're trying to go straight through it. With our driven cross, we're trying to go from low to high to allow our teammates to come onto it and go and head the ball. Again, so to recap, we've got our whip, we've got our curl, we've got our float, and we've got our driven crosses, okay? Go away now, go and really try and work on those techniques, and hopefully we get some improvement.